Who's in charge of that?
We don't have anybody here for that.
The garden club? Nope. Jason?
Jason will get it
He ain't got
done.
time to take down banners.
I didn't call anyone, I thought you handled that.
I don't think of that unless you tell me. Leroy's here.
Is he?
Yep.
Where is he?
He's back there.
Well, and our
Wouldn't be a
employee,
meeting without Leroy.
Yeah.
our employee is here. One of you, does it have to be only three? Nope.
You can sit in here.
Not good?
I can.
It depends how many people you have. I'm not the councilman. It would be better if councilman were. We're here.
I knew we had to wait for the other one.
Yeah.
Hi, Mary.
It's not on the agenda, he just sent me the
Did he
numbers
send you something?
just now, so that way y'all can discuss, but I can't stay, I have an appointment,
Okay.
just so you know. and-
But now, is this still what you had said, that
Yeah,
we might
cross
not
that
need
out.
it?
But these two and that,
Yeah.
and that's gonna be to try to save the plumbing, we don't know if we're gonna be able to, but they're gonna try,
Okay.
so we don't have to replace everything. And me and you can talk tomorrow, but I wanted you to have an idea.
Okay.
Okay, everybody ready? Everybody got your phones down?
Yep.
I'd like to call the meeting to order for Thursday, February 8th at 4 p.m. It's our regular council meeting. If everyone will stand with me and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, if you're able, and then we'll have a prayer from Councilman Ulrich. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, we ask that you bless this assembly and all of those participating. Father, we ask that you watch over our citizens in their daily routine, also our neighbors. We ask that you keep us in your mercy and love. Amen.
Amen. Okay, first of all, I want to welcome everyone. If you haven't had a chance to sign up just as a guest, it's still back there. If you want to speak as an agenda item, so far, Mr. Krahowiak is the only one that signed up. But when we get to an agenda item, just let me know and I'll put your name down and I'll let you speak. Again, welcome and thanks everyone for being here. Just council, before I get started, I was presented this. I haven't opened either one. One says Mayor Milton Kohler, one says City Council. If you want to open this now and pass it around, I have an idea what's in it, but I haven't opened it. So, or do you want to wait till later? It's up to you guys.
Just wait till later. I will.
What's it regarding?
It's
Haven't
nothing on
opened.
the agenda. is it?
No, it's not. It was just left here from lunch, because when I came back from lunch, this was here. I waited to open it with you guys, so if you want to open it later, we can do that. I'll just let it lay here unless you guys want to pass it around and somebody open it and you can pass it around to the rest. Okay, we'll move into our first agenda item with some activity is the introduction of new employees. Dolores?
I don't think any of the new employees are here today.
Okay.
That'll be the next agenda, I guess.
Okay, well, we'll probably add one each month, so if we miss somebody, they can join if they didn't come that week.
Okay.
Okay, we'll move to agenda item number 4, Black History Proclamation. If you guys will allow me. Proclamation number 02-2024, Black History Month. Whereas the City of Weimar wishes to recognize the significant contributions to America that the black culture has made to our society. Whereas the month of February has been designated as Black History Month, and whereas the City Council wishes to pay tribute to those accomplishments, and whereas Black History Month seeks to educate and accurately portray the achievements of the American black community. And whereas this council wishes to thank all black Americans that served in our armed forces or in civilian life, whether through the arts or science, and there now for it be resolved that this day, the 8th day of February 2024, the city of Weimar, Texas hereby acknowledges the contributions made to our society by the black community and does endorse February as Black History Month. Does anyone from the audience wish to come up and join? Leroy, do you want to come? Be in the
Leroy,
picture?
everybody,
Leroy, you want to come up and be in the picture for the paper? Okay.
come on.
Mark, do
Maybe-
you want to?
Maybe some councilmen.
Council members, if you'll join also. Let's move this stuff aside.
How are you, Leroy? I'm good.
Leroy, you can have my seat.
Oh, okay.
Here, something different. I'm not,
Okay, thank you.
You want to get in it, Dolores?
no, I'm gonna let y'all are first. There y'all go.
Oh, somebody want to sit in this chair? Kind of balance things out. You don't want to scoot. There we go.
Yeah.
I'll take care of that.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Peter. All right, appreciate that.
All right. You made my stack back. Okay. Get myself organized back. Here we go. Okay, we'll go to agenda item number 5, City Manager's Report. Doris, you just want to announce them first?
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna say a few things. Okay, so they're working on our extension. They requested the extension for the 2001 CDBG grant that we have on North St. Andrews and North Eagle. We're waiting to hear back by Friday when CenterPoint will schedule the pipelines removed, but other than that, we don't have any news. We also had some issues with the swimming pool during the freeze, and we're trying to get an estimate, which Mary brought me a while ago, of replacement of some pipes and valves in the filtration system. I think it's filtration system that was damaged. And she's contacting also the swimming pool contractor that put in our pool to see what we'll have to do to get it back running. So we're waiting on those estimates. It looks like it could be a little price to it. So, I don't know.
I mean, what exactly, maybe I'll understand.
Chairs.
Pipe was busted or?
I'll get it.
We had several pipes. Jason, you might want to say, what did you have? Some butterfly valves that,
Jason, if you'll come up. Oh, there you are. I didn't see you behind the podium. You-
As tall as he is and you can't see him.
Well, he's got a report to give first anyway, so it just kind of
yes,
feeds in.
that's right.
The swimming pool. Do the swimming pool.
Do the
You
swimming
can
pool
answer
since
the
it was mine.
councilman's questions first. Okay.
The swimming pool, there's a line that goes to the backwash tank, the butterfly valve. There's a T with a short fuse scheduling pipe for the butterfly valve that broke off. And they broke off on some.
So there's nothing we could have done to mitigate to keep the circulation going so we can keep the chlorine flowing and it's like really,
That doesn't have anything to do with chlorine.
well, it's
That has to do with
green.
the backwash.
It's green.
Yeah, I understand that, but that has nothing to do with chlorine.
I would think so,
Well, that's not the reason why the butterfly valve broke off.
but it seemed to me like you still could do something to circulate the water.
Yeah, well, without us being up to backwash, we can't circulate that water right now. We had too many, we had a couple of 2-inch ball valves break. That also goes to the splash pad
something we can't fix ourselves, or we have to get contract out?
Well, there's another, Mary got involved in it? Mary
Yeah, it's
Cole?
not on the agenda today, so y'all can't really,
Oh, okay.
That's
we
okay.
can't really.
So let me ask you
make
this.
a
But you're just asking questions, so
Yes.
they're okay.
The pipe that busted, or the pipes that busted, is it age? Because, I mean, it's, you know, maybe in the elements.
No, we were hoping it was gonna be a warranty issue.
Gotcha.
That's a new pool.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like,
Wonder, you know, if it's exposed, or, you know,
Is there
UV
something
broken.
in the
down.
future that we could have done? I mean, in the future that we could have done to prevent that? I mean, I know if something breaks, it breaks, but,
It should have been braced somehow. The
Okay.
design is kind of,
okay.
and I'm not a pool expert, by no means, but, yeah, there's stuff that could have been done better in the design, because, I mean, that's a heavy piece of sketchy weighty pipe going from that tee, just sitting there and resting, with a 90 resting on, you know, the backwash tank that it goes into before it goes into the sanitary sewer line.
Have we sent pictures to the company that did the work and questioned it?
we have not, Mary has kind of taken control of it.
Okay. I would request that we send pictures and request them to maybe look at it. I know you say you're not a pool expert, but you already pointed out maybe something of question that maybe we need to be questioning to save us some money.
She is talking to the company that we had
Good,
build the pool.
good deal.
But, no disrespect, but that should be Jason's job, right?
Right.
Okay. Jason, can you do what Councilman, real good. You've heard what he's asking, okay.
He just
I think that'd be a
should
logical
take-
thing to do, is send them pictures and ask them, you know, hey, this looks weird to me, can you please explain, because it broke. Maybe they'll cover it, and citizens don't have to pay for it to be repaired.
What was the warranty on this pool?
Did it break because it froze and the ice expanded in the pipe, or did it break because it was too heavy?
Broke it.
There you go.
It broke before the freeze.
Well,
That's
we
right.
did
Right,
another
it was
do
green
it.
Now,
before.
the
Yeah,
freeze,
freeze that now.
It's green before
the
the freeze.
freeze kind of finished,
Finish the job off.
pulled off.
Okay.
Not like the backflow was in
Well, that's a key piece of information, so it didn't have anything to do with the freeze, really, okay. Yeah, take some pictures, we'll send them a letter.
Well, like, you know, the 2-inch ball valves that are broke, you know, yeah, we fixed those in the past, they break all the time. The backflow preventer, I'm licensed by the state of Texas to work on them and inspect them.
Okay.
So, yeah, the backflow preventer, that's not a big deal either.
So we need
The
to-
city can do stuff.
Just get some kind of response from them so we can, you know, so they know about the problem.
But
Yeah.
we actually, you know, none of the public works guys, we're not swimming pool people, you know, we're not certified that to even, or you know, to even mess with pool.
I don't think it hurt to ask, you know, if you don't ask, you don't know, as far as,
Yeah.
maybe they'll cover under warranty for us. You know, just take pictures, and Mr. Bo said he'll send them off, and just ask.
Yeah,
Yeah, we won't know if we don't
the
ask.
worst they can do is tell us to go pound sand.
I think the company will just send a guy down there and come look at it.
There you
I
go.
would agree.
He was
Sending all
here
the pictures.
yesterday.
Huh?
He was here yesterday and he talked to Mary.
Talk to Mary, but did he look at everything?
I wasn't there. I didn't find out until
I mean, you know, sometimes I can make the decision on the pool, sometimes I can't.
When did this break exactly, before it was?
Before the freeze.
We've had numerous things break over there. Started out with all those little 2-inch ball valves at first, we fixed those. Had a couple little other small issues. When that butterfly valve broke, that's been the biggest issue we've had over there. Then the freeze came, we had a couple more valves break, we had that backflow preventer crack. So, you know, we've had multiple issues in the short amount of time I've been with the pool.
Since both of y'all are aware of it, does Mary know that it broke prior to the freeze?
Yes.
She does,
Yes,
okay,
she knows that, yes.
okay,
I've talked to Mary several times,
gotcha.
and I think there needs to be a better understanding on what the city wants her to do and what she wants to do.
Thank you.
because we do not have a contract with her at all. She's doing it out of her
Yes.
goodness of her heart.
I can appreciate her wanting to help. I think sounds like everybody needs to be on the same page. Is that what you're basically saying?
Yeah.
Very valuable help coming from her because she is an expert of it. But,
I mean, I appreciate her. I would
Sure.
appreciate everything she's told me about that thing. Because like I said, I'm
Yeah.
not a fool guy.
gotcha. Well, maybe we need to
Well, maybe
look at,
between all of y'all, we can get some answers on
For the next
why
meeting,
this should,
we'll
I
have
mean,
to.
this is a new pool.
maybe we need to start looking at doing business with her. She's right across the street from it. Maybe it'd save us a lot of headache and take some load off of this gentleman right here.
So maybe she can maintain it.
Well, we would need to go out and get some estimates of
Sure.
what it would cost,
Yeah.
and, then we can look at it.
I think you get
I
past this
think
hurdle
we
first
have-
and then address and put
Yeah.
bids out for
Right.
care and maintenance of the pool.
Just, I know this is not on the agenda, but didn't we have people cleaning the pool before we ended up with this? We had our city guys, I
We did.
remember seeing them out there.
Well, it monitored the chemicals and the equipment, yeah.
I think it was green at one time under that deal too. Nobody's perfect, but going forward, I sure would like to get that hurdle crossed first and then try to figure out how we can help him do his job a little more efficiently.
I agree.
So continue with your report.
Now, now it's all yours.
My report is included in the packet, if there's any questions.
Anything that you want to bring up to them? I mean, they've discussed pool. Anything else that you want to bring out to the citizens as well? Okay.
Well, the report, again, is just a service order report of everything that's called in by the city residents. We do everything, we prioritize everything by importance and by emergency and non-emergency. That's pretty much the way that works. The main thing I wanted to talk, I was prepared to talk about was later on in the meeting.
Okay.
Tree limb pickup. Is that your department?
Yes.
Tree limb, okay. Are we doing that?
Yes, ma'am.
I just see Paul's,
We had some setbacks, this month, the grabber, actually, a hydraulic hose broke on it, we sent it to, John's to get that hose repaired.
I just see some little bitty paws, and I thought, well, that some of them just could hand throw it in the truck or.
Right, like I said, we fell a little bit behind on it because
Okay.
of that hose, but we're doing the best we can to get it all.
All right, sounds good.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Council, anything else? Okay, thank you, Jason.
Police Department, Chief Timothy.
Good afternoon, Mayor, members of council. How are you tonight?
Good.
Good.
We have another
So
plaque.
you have the brief in front of you. The only thing that I really wanted to point out to you is the increase in calls for service. I don't know how much you followed these briefs that were given, but last month, I believe we had 176 calls for service during the month, and you notice now we're up over 260. So that means the officers are doing more. I'm pretty excited about that. And I'll answer any questions you might have on that.
Seem to be busy.
I would like to take the opportunity to do another presentation tonight, if I could just, if you would indulge me to do that. And I would like to ask Chief Michael Furr and Assistant Chief Kalmbach to come up, please. A couple months ago, we had the opportunity to present a life-saving award to Officer Giannis for the fire. And we had that. Well, not too long ago, we had an incident where one of our officers deployed Narcan. If you're familiar with Narcan, when someone has a fentanyl overdose, they're pretty much going to die unless we administer Narcan. Sorry, I have a little bit of a cold going on
Okay.
here. So. But nonetheless, Officer Robin Allen responded to the call, found the subject unconscious, took quick action, realized that she needed to administer the Narcan. She did, not once, but twice. EMS arrived then, and they did more advanced measures while the person survived. And the assistant chief wrote a recommendation that we honor Robin tonight with the life-saving award. I asked them to join me, and so Robin, would you come up? I'm just going to read the award if I could. On December 19th, 2023, while on patrol, you responded to a residence in the 200 block of East Church to assist with a medical call of a male not breathing. Upon arrival, you discovered a male subject lying in the front yard who was unconscious. You immediately began assessing the situation and determined that the subject was unresponsive and possibly an overdose. In an effort to save the subject's life, you administered 2 doses of Narcan. Colorado County medical personnel arrived on scene and initiated advanced life-saving care procedures. The patient was transported to a local hospital where it was said that he was recovering. As a result of the swift action you took, the opportunity to make a difference for this patient occurred. No one ever knows to what extent the actions that we take have, but according to the recommendation of the Colorado County EMS Assistant Director, your actions were instrumental in saving the subject's life. Today, the Weimar Police Department takes great pride in representing and presenting to you a life-saving award and commending you for the excellent job and care and dedication that you have shown to the citizens of Weimar. Award of this day. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
David, does this have to be good?
You have to turn it on.
Isn't that a separate item?
He's
Okay.
John fixes right there, but it's not working.
You touched it.
I don't know how to fix it, guys. I don't do microphones. Mayor and council, y'all have my packet, or report in the packet. If you have any questions, concerns?
They had lots of dogs.
They keep everybody busy.
It's evening walking time, so probably more dog reports are gonna be coming to you, because people are out walking.
It's becoming a pretty big issue, actually. For some reason, we're getting more and more and more and more, and a lot of them come off of right outside of town here, off of North Center, and big time over here at the golf course. They just kind of dump them and keep going, so.
That's sad.
Maybe we could do a little notice or something in the paper afterwards, just to remind folks.
A little update for Turbo Joe's. I don't want to give a definite answer to anybody, but estimated opening day is the 17th, would be the grand opening. I think that's a Monday, yes.
So, 17th is Saturday.
Saturday, so, sorry, so the weekend after that Monday.
Bless you.
My bad.
They are waiting on a few more things. They've already got everything pretty well done and situated there. We'll have a final inspection the week before opening. They're getting with the state health department to get their certs. I'll get their certificate of occupancy to them, amount of people who can be in there at one time kind of thing, and then they'll be ready to open the doors. So fingers crossed, it should be the weekend after that. Yes, ma'am. 26th, that's right. So.
That's good.
What else is going on?
Everybody good?
Good.
Okay,
We're good.
thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Hey, Mayor, Council.
Hey, Misty.
check out our monthly visits. We had 621 in January, so doing good, the numbers going up. Still doing well with our audio ebooks online. Had 56 audiobooks being used and 62 books. So make those numbers look real good, so when I turn them into state, they know that we're using what we get. All right, with our circulation activity for January, it's been up and down. Right now we have about 16,954 holdings, meaning books, materials that we have at the library. We have 1,628 patrons, finally got over that 1,600 mark. And right now on loan for books being used, we got 144 being used right now. Check over to our February calendar. We've already had our arts and craft Valentine badges, which the kids really enjoyed coming into the library and making their Valentines ready. We have Ice Age Monday movie on the 19th coming up. We're going to hopefully serve popcorn, free popcorn and water, and hopefully I can get that snow cone machine, and maybe we'll have that afterwards. Since it's Ice Age, we're going to eat some ice. And, oh yes, we have the Friends of the Library is doing an informational forum program. That is, we were coming in talking about wills and stuff, saying, hey, this is what you can do, what you need for the future. That will be on the 20th at 6 p.m. Please RSVP to the library so we know we have enough seats for everybody. And then hopefully in March, you can write down mark your calendar for, I think it's March 11th. The Friends of the Library will be doing a spring break thing for the kids once they get out of school and stuff. So hope everybody can show up to that. We'll have a bunch of different activities and everything, and all the kids will really enjoy it. We have a big turnout, so. And that's about it. Any questions? All good?
Thank you for your.
Thank you, Misty.
Okay, we'll move to agenda item number 6, approval of the minutes of the January 11th regular council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. If there are no changes, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 7, report on financial statements. Mr. Mason?
Mayor, council, I'd like to bring your attention to pages 28 through 41 of the council packet. On page 28, the investment report, I purchased 3 CDs at Prosperity Bank. They're at 5% right now. Actually, the bottom one is 4.25 because it's less than 100,000. But the other 2 are at 5% for 7 months. This report is through January 31st. At February 1st, we proceeded to open accounts at Fayette Savings Bank. And those accounts are open now. We're doing the payroll, the AP checks. All of our deposits are going over there. So that transition worked very smoothly. I just want to mention too, I know people may be wondering, on the CDs, I did reach out to Hill Bank to, it was my intention to move the CDs to Hill Bank. And I did reach out. We had a few meetings regarding interest rates, but we just never could come to an agreement on an interest rate for those 3 CDs. So we do have some coming up again in April, and so we can revisit.
Did they ever give you a rate that they were
They
offering?
never gave me a rate, but I did get a rate sheet from them. Just picked it up. Anybody can go and pick it up off the counter. A 6-month CD, a jumbo CD, which is over 100,000, is 0.75, and a 12-month jumbo is 2.50. And so we never came to an agreement they could give me better rates than it or not. That's where we are now. We tried, we both tried. They tried and I tried, so I just didn't come in. And then, so on some of the checks, Just one thing that came to attention today is on the I-10 sign, I wrote on here our final check. Well, we came to find out that we missed an invoice. I think it was one of the piece of December invoice. So we mailed that check out today, so that is our final payment on the I-10 sign. So just want to let y'all know that. So as of today, we are done with that sign completely.
Thank you.
I'll let you look through everything. If you have any other questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
David, on this investment report, going forward, I know you said we moved the checking accounts to Fayette Savings. Would it be possible to add that interest rate, what we're getting at that time, just like you have on the CDs, just so we can kind of see what that rate is?
Okay, yes, because it will vary.
It can just be as of a certain date, just so we're aware.
And we usually set that at the beginning of the month, so I will put that on my report.
And David, the update on the hotel motel tax or
Nothing.
I think everything's
No, they have.
the last.
One of them had paid last month, but the Sure Stay has not paid yet. They were supposed to pay, but they're behind a little bit.
Yeah, the sure, okay, yeah.
Council, when you are good, just give me a nod unless you have questions for Mr. Mason.
That tech line payment for $118,000, is that passed through, or we're getting reimbursed, or is that budgeted?
No, that's a bill for us.
What page are you on?
I'm on 32.
Okay.
That was part of that Highway 90 duct project going out by the school.
Yeah, that was in the budget.
Okay.
We can definitely pay.
Just remind everyone, make sure you speak loud enough so folks in the, not only in the audience, but over the live stream can hear as well. You good? Okay. Good, Kevin? Good? Good. No rush, we're good. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mason.
Thank you.
We'll move to agenda item number 8, approval of accounts payable and transfer of funds.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. If there are no changes, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carried. Agenda item number 9, discussion and action to grant funds for the Texas Independence Relay, which is dated for March 23rd and 24th. Dolores, if you'll.
Okay, so y'all have the paper or the report from Tara. She wasn't able to be here today. It is on March the 23rd, Saturday, March the 23rd. They're anticipating 155 teens this year, an increase of 15 from last year. And they plan to give out the silver batons here in Weimar, again, the same as they had last year. They're requesting up to $1,600 this year.
That didn't come from hotel money, that's just regular?
No,
That's
it can't.
contributions
Because it-
to
it-
organizations.
Contribute, yeah, because I think it didn't qualify.
Doesn't qualify anymore,
Yeah.
correct? Good point, Lloyd.
Last year, they were granted $1,500, up to $1,500.
Well, I would say that probably brings a lot of revenue and spotlight on Weimar. People get to see what Weimar is about, running through it. I make a motion to approve the grant funds for $1,600 for the Texas Independent Relay for March 23rd through the 24th.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. Okay, it's open for additional discussion, if any.
Would it be would that motion need to say up to $1,600?
doesn't have to, I mean, he can say that's what he's given them.
Well,
But it's so usually with receipts.
Exactly, it's
She has
reimbursed.
Yeah, more or less reimbursement of the 1,600.
Yeah.
You wanna,
Yeah, this,
Friendly
let's amend
amendment?
it. Let's see, let's word it better here. Make a motion to, approve, let's see, grant funds for up to $1,600 for the Texas Independent Relay on March 23rd through the 24th.
From contributions to organization.
Contributions to the organization, sorry about that.
based on receipts received.
Based on the receipts received.
Yeah, that's the.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a motion and second with the friendly amendment. Any additional questions, comments? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Stephen.
Sure, thank you.
Agenda item number 10, presentation and possible action on Police Department Records Management Software, RMS.
Chief, just pull it out of the wall.
Just pull it out of the wall.
That doesn't sound good.
Do that.
I was gonna say, yeah.
That's always been a trouble in the past, right?
We can get a little more for you.
We were told that the microphone wasn't working.
It's not.
Now,
Oh, we'll just wiggle, yeah.
Just leave your finger on it, Chief.
You check the base of it?
It's not the base, it's in the microphone.
Printed out the presentation.
okay,
Oh,
thanks.
good. Thank you very much.
Big screen.
If somebody else needs my chief.
All right, I think I have enough.
You do? Okay. Thank you.
I'm excited because I have completed my 100 days, my first 100 days in Wyoming, okay? And at maybe chief school, they tell you not to do anything for your first 100 days, so I haven't really done anything. But now I'm ready to start doing some things. But seriously though, during those 100 days, we have been reviewing processes and procedures and different things like that. I've been looking for ways that we could save money, trying to establish a more efficient way of doing certain things. And tonight I want to present to you a proposal for the records management software. Does everybody know what records management software is? It's pretty much in the name. It's how you store all your records. So all of our police reports, crash reports, our tickets, all of our name indexes, everything that we do as a department is stored within our records management software. Currently, again, I apologize for I'm a little bit under the weather, so if you don't hear me right, just let me know.
They're used to my cough anyway. So
Okay,
just
all right.
join
But
the crowd.
currently, the Weimar Police Department uses 3 computer software programs to conduct business. The county provides eForce, so in the cars, the officers receive their calls in the car through eForce software. Then the officers have their MDTs, and there's a CopSync software that's on their MDTs. And then we also have an RMS system, which is Tyler Public Safety Pro, that is maintained at the police department. So we have 3 different software systems that are working. The problem is that none of them talk to each other. There's no interface between one or the other. So as you can see, there's no charge for the Colorado County. That's provided by the county. The Cologic CopSync, which is in the cars, costs us $87.54 annually. And to write our reports and for our data storage in Tyler Public Safety Pro, that runs us $10,800 annually. In addition to that, because those software needs to speak to Tyler Encode, which is what handles our municipal court, our citations, there's an additional $1,568, which comes to a total of $21,122 annually. And so I can explain this a little bit better. It's pretty much on the screen, but I'll tell you, the officers get their call from the dispatch center, right? Well, let me back up a step. When someone dials 911, right, the dispatcher answers the phone. They begin the call. They get the location. They enter the time that it's happening, what the crime is, or what the call nature is, okay? They're entering all this information into their CAD, which is an eForce. We don't get that. We don't have any of that information other than what they say over the radio. Now, we do have some of our officers utilize eForce in the car, the mobile, so they can see. But we don't have access to that where we can print that out. We have to generate in CopSync another call card. That's what you see, the second deal there is that they have to, whatever it's a traffic stop, whether it's the call that they were on, whatever it might be, excuse me, they have to generate a call card in CopSync so that we now can begin to capture that information within our system. Once they get back to the police department, they print out that call card and then manually have to enter that into our RMS system. A lot of stuff going on there. And obviously that manual, I put a cost estimate to it. I actually factored in the average rate of an officer, how long it takes for them to manually do this, not once but twice, and it comes out to $7,500 annually. So now add that to the $21,122, and you know what we're dealing with already, right? We're up close to $30,000 a year. Tonight I would like to make a recommendation to you that we streamline the process, that we go away from CopSync and Tyler Safety Pro, which will save us $19,550, which will also reduce some accuracy errors that we find because you're entering things multiple times, you're opening yourself up for error, right? Clerical error. And we can do away with the $75,000 or $7,500 that we're paying for manual labor, which produces a savings of $21,000. So what does it cost us to go just to eForce? It would cost us an upfront, basically $50,000 or $49,550 upfront. That's to get the equipment, that's to get the software, to have it installed, that's to integrate with Tyler Encode so the municipal court can still get what they need for citation management. It costs us that up front. But then we pay $7,500 only, $7,500 a year thereafter, with an increase, as you can see, after year 2, it goes up no more than 3% of an increase of that $7,500. Additional benefits to it, I don't know how much you know about the process that the officers have to do right now, but they use CopSync in the car if they're going to, on a traffic stop, whether they're giving a warning or a citation or whatever. So they go up and they meet the driver, talk to them, get their information, then they have to go back to their car, and they climb in their car, and they sit there, and they type up the information. I've been doing this quite a long time. You don't like to be in your car because you're paying attention to what? The computer screen. You're not paying attention to the driver or the passengers that are in the vehicle. That's an officer safety issue. With this software, and we just transitioned to new iPhones, the officers will be able to walk up to the side of the car with their iPhone. They'll be able to scan their driver's license. They'll be able to scan the QR code that's on your registration sticker. All the information that they need for the citation is already captured. Then they can walk back, enter the violation, indicate whether it's a warning or a citation, and then hand their phone to the person, and they can sign their citation all right there. And if we get the violator's email information, I don't even have to go back to my car to get a copy of the ticket or the warning or whatever. I can just submit their copy, their signed copy via email. It's using technology as a force multiplier, right? But it also keeps our officers safe. That's one of the additional benefits. The other is, I mentioned to you early on, that when the dispatcher is typing, the dispatcher is typing all the call notes, and they close the call, all that information is automatically, every night, is uploaded into our system. There's no more manual entry whatsoever. And you can see here, the surrounding agencies that are also on it have access to where our officers are. with, well, the package that we are submitting to you tonight comes with the ADL auto vehicle locator, so we can tell where our officers are at any time. If we can't reach them on a radio or something like that, we just pull up the screen and we know exactly at least where their car is, right? Which again is an officer safety deal. And then finally, it gives us an opportunity to present cases to the district attorney electronically, which is a huge thing. I had the Gang of Five meeting with them today. I was talking to the district attorney about it. We're pretty excited about moving in this direction because the sergeant takes cases. How many did you take? 12. He took 12 this week, so he's carrying a bundle of everything, and it has copies of the evidence, CDs and everything. He's carrying all that stuff manually to Colorado County where technology allows us to do it electronically. I mean, it makes sense to do it. So it does come with an upfront cost, which would require a budget amendment. But tonight I would like to recommend and ask for your approval to move in this direction so that we can begin to spend more time out on the streets and not sitting behind a computer with the police department. And I'll answer any questions you might have.
I really like this. I think it's a great approach. We need to move forward on things. My question is this the only company, or can we bid it out? You know, things like that. And also, two-part question, I guess, with Ms. Dolores. Would there be any kind of grants that we could get for updating our police department that would maybe help take care of that chunk right there?
Let me answer your first question.
Thank you.
Your first part of your question first. There are a plethora of different RMS systems out there. The advantage of going to eForce is the county already has it. And I have spoken to both sheriff candidates, and neither one of them have aspirations to leave eForce.
Good.
So we're all on the same platform. That's when we're able to present things digitally, right? And it's I know that they had it in the past, and there was some problems because the county controlled it. This is our version. We're the administrators of it. We grant access to whoever we want to. So we don't have to worry about them seeing things that we don't want them to see, right? So that will answer that.
Yes, sir.
As far as the grants go, I'm an advocate for grants. Unfortunately, Colorado County presently is not eligible for certain grants because of new reporting measures that we have to do.
Okay.
We talked about it this morning at the meeting. It's affecting all of us. It's just until we get our scores up. You have to maintain a 90 in reporting to NIBRS, right? That was something they changed about 3 or 4 years ago. And the county was above 90, but then dipped down into the 70s, then back up into the 80s, and we're not there yet. We haven't gotten it where we're in compliance yet. Okay. The other part of that is with our CJIS deal, we were out of compliance because the current software that we had was at end of life. So we've already bought the deal. We're waiting on making a decision whether we're going to put eForce on it or we're going to put, what we currently have on it, so that we can get back in compliance with that. Outside of those two things, we can't really put in for the grants at this time.
But it makes sense to use what Colorado County uses. They'll work together. The next question is for Bo. I think Bo will appreciate this one. The fact that they're going to take a phone or electronic device or ask for an email, I don't know too many people excited about getting a speeding ticket or whatever. If they're going to give a legitimate email, is it still best to give paper to the people being pulled over? Does it matter? I'm just curious.
It doesn't matter. I mean, if you're foolish enough to give a fake email address to the police,
I'm just curious.
It doesn't make your ticket go away.
No, I'm just curious.
You're just not going to know when the court date is.
Well, that's...
Yeah. No, I understand.
Or if it gets lost in translation or whatever, I'm just,
And
looking...
we still have the ability, Councilman, to go back to the car.
Perfect.
Because we're still looking at the driver's license, so we're getting their personal information.
Gotcha.
And that's going to be all in the DPS database. And the car is going to be in the DMV database. And the chief did send me the contract to look at. One of the things I like about the contract is it's not a multi-year contract.
Okay.
We're not locked in for 5 years or 10 years or something. If this doesn't work, next year, we can say, this really was a disaster, goodbye.
So there's no contract at all?
It's a 1-year contract.
1 year, okay.
And so,
Does that qualify for forfeiture funds?
Well,
That would be his question.
yeah, that would be a question for him. I don't, it seems like it'd be right in a gray area. I don't know how much
Well,
forfeiture funds we have
Forfeiture
left.
funds, they can be used for any criminal justice type of thing. Plain and simple, they can. However, this is the necessary tool, right? It's really on the city for us to have an RMS system. We shouldn't really be using forfeiture funds for things that we should do within our budget. So, I mean, could we do that? If we absolutely had to do that, would I choose to do that? I would, but I would hope that the city would recognize, the council would recognize that it's really a cost of doing business, cost of having a police department is to have a record of management software. That's part of what our city budget has. And the funds are already budgeted to pay the $21,122. It's already in there. We don't have to pay it. It's up for, the second half of it is up for renewal, and we have it on hold to pay it. All we do is cancel it. And we have at least half of that, or close to that, money that we could use towards to offset the $49,550.
So that auto vehicle locator, do we have that, has something of that capacity now?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, well, so there's no way to track a vehicle if it's stolen?
That's correct.
You gotta have low jacks.
So you have what budgeted already for the,
21,000?
It's in the,
that's 21,000.
yeah, this, which is on this screen right now, the $21,122 is what you already approved for your budget. And they, at least Tyler Safety Pro, correct me David if I'm not correct, but they just do it in a 6-month installment, right? So we've already paid half of the $10,800, but we're up for the second half. And I told David, let's hold on, let's not pay that just yet.
So we would just amend the budget
So it'd be about 30,000
that we would,
that would be amending.
right, if we have 10. we'd have
Unless
to-
he found grants from somebody that would maybe help.
Well,
Or chipped in part of his forfeiture fund.
Well, no, but, of course, there's probably other organizations that don't fall within the Colorado County itself box. A city could apply for. Could be some foundation that would do something other than like an HDAC grant or something like that.
I'm going to bring up something else. I wasn't planning on doing it. Ms. Dolores, please forgive me if I'm out of line. Y'all purchased cars, and you were sending them to a particular vendor to do all your installs. Since our last meeting, we've gotten information that they're not going to give us our cars until August or September, which is too far away. So I got with the city manager, and we made the decision to find another source to do it. And in doing that, we saved, I don't remember the number, but it was close to $35,000.
I thought it was more like 20, but I can't remember.
Well, I mean, it's a substantial amount of money.
Yeah, it was,
And that's to outfit the cars?
yes.
Oh,
Yeah, we
really?
found a difference. Cap Fleet was right at 90-something. You know, that was something that handled was
So wouldn't it make sense to amend the budget for the difference offset versus saving for the cars and to process this through? Could we get that number today so we could amend, or?
We can't do the amendment today because it's not on the
It's not
agenda.
an agenda.
Ah, I got you.
Council has to
I thought-
approve it, and we'll have a couple of budget amendments next time, but, so it can't
It was
be
an
done
action
today.
item, that's why I was.
But
Yes.
It's an action to
To
move
approve
forward,
the
but that's,
program.
Move
moving
forward,
forward
but
doesn't
not to
mean that
amend the
you're
budget.
amending the budget.
Yeah.
You know, I believe that safety is a big deal.
I do
Yes,
too.
I do too.
Yeah.
And that's,
That and that vehicle locator,
yeah, I would be in favor of moving forward.
I make a motion on the police department records management software and to review the funds available to set for next city council meeting to amend the budget.
Second?
You said no.
Software, it
We're
needs to
just
be
moving
proven.
Oh,
Right, so that's where I want to make sure that
I
Dolores needs
apologize, I'm leaving
the
everything
language.
out today.
Right.
Jeez.
I'm making sure Dolores needs
We're not
everything.
working on the budget amendment right now. doing is the
Software.
All right.
the software.
I make a motion to approve the police department records management software and move forward for next meeting.
Now, before there's a second, Dolores, is that
Is that the
motion
verbiage you'd like?
cover what you need?
Well, the cost of the software was $49,000.
$49,550.
Yeah.
Put that in there.
Put that in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
$49,000.
try this again.
Third time.
Make a motion for the action on the police department records management software
In the amount,
in the amount of
$49.
$49,550 with review of the,
We don't need that.
we don't need that.
If you're good with that, I'm gonna second it.
Yes.
Dolores, are you good with that
That's good.
language? Okay, now I have a second. It is open for additional discussion. Now, ask council if you have a discussion about it. Are you good with the way the motion is written? In the spirit of what he's trying to say, you're gonna all be in agreement if you vote yes. But sometimes the language gets a little tricky with what we want to do. But in the spirit of what he's trying to put forth, and
I want to make sure that we use our funds that we've saved from the vehicles and what we've already budgeted for.
I think they can make that happen. I'm just,
We'll do that for the next
That's
meeting.
what I would like to do.
everybody wants me to be so technical nowadays, and I'm making sure I'm dotting my I and crossing my T. And dotting my T. At the end, period. Okay. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you, chief.
Motion carries, chief. He took off before.
Well, you must be like catfish, just go.
Okay, we'll move to agenda item number 11. Discussion and action on setting Saturday, April 20th from 8 a.m. to 12 noon p.m. for Weimar Spring Cleanup Day.
That says it all.
Yep.
There's nothing to add.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. It's open for additional discussion. Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Just make sure in the minutes that Mr. Yuniska was not present for that vote. Okay. It's no big deal, but I'm dotting my I and crossing my T.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, move to agenda item number 12, citizens' presentation and comments. In accordance with the Texas Attorney General's opinion, any public comment that is made on an item that is not on the posted final agenda will only be heard by the City Council. No formal action, discussion, deliberation, or comment will be made by the City Council, and is noted that it is posted for a 3-minute time period. Is anyone in the audience, because I don't have anyone that signed up unless that sheet of paper is still back there, but this is a public comments one, so it's just an agenda item. Anyone that didn't sign up wishes to come up and speak to council? Okay, we'll move to agenda item number 13. Discussion and acceptance of 15-foot and .195 acres of Weimar Veterans Tract to be conveyed to the city of Weimar for widening of West Hoover Street, shown as Tract 1 on survey. You good? You good? Dolores?
Okay, so this was put on the agenda after I had talked to John Wanderlich from the high school, and today or yesterday, he contacted me and said that they are not having their meeting until Monday, so the council can't take action until after that. So we'll have it on the next agenda.
Okay, so no discussion, and just as note, we'll have it posted for an agenda item on the next council meeting. Agenda item number 14, discussion and action on Stephen Krahoviak's claim for longevity pay. And Mr. Krahoviak, I have you down as you wish to speak on agenda item number 14. If you will step up to the podium and introduce yourself, sir.
Mayor and Council, Stephen Groviak, former lieutenant with Weimar Police Department, also resident of Weimar. Y'all have my documents in front of y'all already. I don't want to spend the time handing that out right now. And I specifically want to speak to council. If city attorney has questions or whatever, he can talk to y'all, but I'm not going to talk to the city attorney. I do respect. So, I retired in good standing and honorably discharged through Cole October 24, 2023 as a loyal, dedicated employee to the city of Weimar after 22 plus years of service. I would like for you to look at the copy of the City Weimar Personnel Manual, longevity pay, 10-09. We can go through this if y'all are looking at it. The city provides longevity pay to regular full-time employees who have completed 1 full year of employment. Of course, up 22 plus years. Employees who leave the city and are later rehired are paid longevity pay based on their most recent hire date. Longevity pay is paid in a lump sum each December to eligible employees. You'll have a copy of a definition of an eligible employee, which states an eligible employee is a worker who has spent 12 or more months on a job or rendered 1,250 hours or more of service for a company. And as you can see, there's emails that I did my due diligence and tried to take care of this before getting this on the agenda with the interim city manager, and she denied me. But it says December. The appreciation dinner, if some of y'all don't know, that's when they hand out the longevity checks. I'm a retired employee. I went to the appreciation dinner, did not get my check, and that's when they hand them out. I'm just asking for what I have earned through my years of service to the city. I'm asking you to be fair and to do the right thing. Any questions? Pretty black and white and clear. If they want to change the personnel manual later on to clarify it, that's to the city attorney, but right now.
Well, I won't talk to Stephen because he has a lawyer. That's how we first found out. He got a lawyer to send a demand letter to Dolores. So actually, Stephen, I can't talk to you since you're my lawyer. I've emailed the council, and obviously I've talked to Stephen's lawyer, and maybe I do agree with Stephen. It is clear. It says it's paid in December to employees. So we didn't say when we wrote this we're going to pay it to employees and people who are no longer employees. Stephen told you correctly. Thank you for your service. He got paid when he worked. He became an ex-employee in October. And so the plain language says we pay people who are employees in December. Stephen was not an employee in December. And it's really as simple as this has been.
It does not state that.
May I finish, please, Mr. Krodiak? Thank
No,
you.
again,
With
it does
all due
not state
respect.
that in there.
Hold on. I'm going to be in control of the meeting. So, you have a right to speak. We've allowed. You have a right to speak. You have a right to speak. You have a right to speak. We're not going to speak over each other. If we're okay with that. Thank you.
I am, thank you. So, in my tenure, and I've asked for Dolores, this has never been an issue. In other words, we've never had anyone else that's separated from the city come back and say, I wasn't, I was here through June, I was here through July, I'm entitled to something. It seems to me it has been clear because it's never been an issue. And so we're really not just talking about $1,000 to Stephen where we're going to reinterpret this policy, and we're going to read ex-employees into a sentence that says employees, because if you're going to change the application of this, you're going to have to do it for whoever their longevity pay. And certainly, Mr. Krobiak had called me in October before he decided to resign and asked me to interpret this, I would have told you the same thing. I had no role in his decision not to stay through December. I'm sure we have had employees who have said, I'm gonna stay through December so I can get my longevity pay. I've had people that have gone on vacation, come back from vacation, and left. The city probably has too. I mean, it's, you know, this stuff's pretty black and white to me. You're either an employee or you're not. And if you're not an employee, you're not entitled to the longevity pay.
Again, it does not state in here that you have to be a full-time employee.
It says you have to be an employee in December. Were you an employee in
It does
December?
not, I'm sorry, it does not say you have to be an employee to December. It does not say that.
Sure it does. It says it's paid.
It says
To
longevity,
employees in
I read it,
December.
it says longevity pay is paid in a lump sum each December to eligible employees. They have a definition of eligible employee. It does not say you have to be there till December.
Do you agree you were not an employee in December?
Again, I'm not gonna discuss this,
Okay.
okay?
So, I mean, it's,
It doesn't
You guys-
say
you
it, so
guys
why,
have my-
I
No,
wasn't an
but we're not-
employee,
we're
I
gonna-
was not an employee in December, but it doesn't say that you have to be. It
that's.
says that's when you will get paid.
If you're not an employee, you can't get paid.
Are you gonna get paid for the year and a half that you haven't been a city attorney? That you haven't sworn an oath of office?
I have. I'm happy to.
No.
Wait,
You want me to bring this out right
sure,
now?
go ahead.
You have not sworn an oath of office since 2022 until I did an open records request. And January 22nd, you did an oath of office because you knew you didn't take oath of office. And you also knew that that was going to get you in a bind.
No, but if you give me a chance, I'll explain to you, Mr. Krobiak. Would you like me to explain?
Are
to
you going to get paid for that year and a half?
Yes, because if you read.
By the city? When you weren't the attorney?
Will you let me finish? Here we go. If you go read the ordinances, it says each appointed official serves until the next appointed one is appointed and qualifies. So in this case, as you know, I've been the city attorney for 10 years, 12 years. So whether, and we did this, I agree with you, for whatever reason, I didn't sign an oath of office when I was appointed and approved. So that,
Yeah,
but let me finish,
local
Stephen.
government code, it says that you have to.
It said, but
And you own the policy, the city ordinance.
Okay, guys, we're not going to be discussing, this has nothing to do with longevity.
it doesn't,
This agenda item is about
Yeah.
longevity.
You're right,
We're going to, okay, let's stick to what the agenda item is.
the point, and I'll just finish if I may, the point is, I served my prior term until I qualified for the new term. Again, if you'd like to discuss it with me, I'm happy to show you I'm right. If you think I'm wrong, I would challenge you to go to Jay Johannes and file a complaint, because I know I'm right, Stephen.
Okay, so back to the longevity pay. Is it a yes or a no, what he's saying? That it's too vague to determine if he gets longevity pay because it's not worded correctly?
I'm comfortable with the way it's worded.
Well,
It says you gotta be an employee, so the answer to your question is no, it's not too vague.
You don't have a copy right there. Please look at it again.
Are we at all able to amend any of that to say that we're gonna give prorated amounts to retired employees, not to all ex-employees that resign, but
I'm gonna tell you what, our first responders and people on the front line of our city, tell you what, they do a lot. Pretty fortunate to have them. We've talked at these meetings that it's hard to find good employees. He retired after how many years? I don't know, I think prorating it might be the way to go just to,
Okay, so we're gonna historically, we're gonna back up and we're gonna prorate everybody else?
Yeah, that's gonna
Or
open up a can of worms.
it's a can of worms.
I don't know.
22 plus years of service. And if you were in that situation, Roy, how would you feel?
I'd have waited till the first of the year.
It doesn't state that again. In the ordinance, it doesn't state that.
I don't think we can go back and do, you know, if we have a change in an ordinance, it's from, you know, a certain date forward, not someone that just resigned. It's,
We can't make it retroactive.
he takes this to court, we're gonna end up wasting more time litigating this than probably what it's worth. Is that correct?
I charge the city $500 a month, as you know, Councilman. That $500 covers all work done on behalf of the city. If he wants to take us to court, that's fine, doesn't cost us a penny. You paid your $500, you got me for the month.
This is how you're gonna treat former employees. 22 years.
How many people have we had that picked up and retired out like that we didn't write a check to? I'm just curious.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm curious who put in that many years and then retired before December or quit right before December or
I
whatever.
mean, he actually retired out.
He resigned and then applied for his retirement,
Yeah,
yes.
but he did actually
That's what he
retire
did.
out.
Yeah,
So is there a difference in when you resign, when you check if you're retiring or resigning, or is it just resigning, period? There's not a way to differentiate if someone's retiring or resigning? Just resigning, period?
Just depends what they put in their resignation or if they're retiring, letters that they give us. But that wouldn't make a difference for longevity.
So we're in a gray area with one question that I have, because there's an action item here, which is a policy manual, that I'm not sure if council has the ability to make a decision right now on action, because the policy manual would have to be changed, or the language would have to be changed. I'm in a gray area myself. I'm not sure what we need to do here. Mr. Kroviak, just accept that if you will, just listening, okay? You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so the policy manual is adopted by council. Right now, it says a certain thing. In order for it to be an action item today, it would have to change the policy manual based on a vague description, is what you're saying. It's somewhat vague what's happening.
Well, if you're admitting that.
So, but the.
It's current what it is right now.
But if you're.
I understand, but we have a vagueness in the definition of it. So if you're saying to change the policy manual, because I think you said that earlier.
Said if you'll wanna do that later on.
Correct.
Currently, this is it. This
Correct.
is black and white.
Correct. But council would have to, they're not in charge of issuing longevity pay. I don't think that's their decision. Is that correct, or can someone help me with that?
I think that'd be right, I think that's the city manager.
I'm not sure why.
I mean, in other words, I don't think, yeah, I don't
I'm
think-
trying to help him, but I'm also trying to help council with their decision, because if it's not council's decision who gets longevity pay based on what they voted for the acceptance of the policy manual. And policy manual, you're saying is vague, he's saying it's vague, you're saying it's not, you're saying it's not. So that's where I'm caught with what this is. If you're not following me, I'm sorry, but that's the gray area for me. I'm not sure how council can make that decision today.
Well, that's the reason we have legal counsel.
Correct, that's what I'm asking.
So he says it's not vague.
Okay. If it's not vague, then council can't. The motion's not written for council to make that decision, because it's city manager's decision. Is that correct? Is that what it says in there? Or does it say council has?
Well, in the code of ordinances, this would be something that falls within the city manager's role.
Is that where we are?
What do you mean?
Is it council's decision who gets longevity pay?
I went through my due diligence and went through Dolores, and she denied me, and so then I went with my attorney, and they spoke, and I'm here on the agenda.
Right.
And I
And
thought they
I'm
were
okay
gonna
with
vote-
you.
I thought council was gonna vote on it today.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Does council have the right to vote on longevity pay? That's my question. Right, and I've asked it, but I'm looking at you, so I'm just making sure I'm not leaving you out of the conversation. Okay, that's out of respect. Okay, I'm here for you, but I'm here for the council as well.
Right.
I'm questioning if council has the right to vote today on who gets longevity pay, as in your case right now. And if we don't have that as an answer, then we may bring this back up on his agenda item next month. I don't want to prolong it anymore because there's too much dramatic things going around about it, and that needs to stop. Whatever direction it goes, I don't care. But the council needs to join together. Attorney, you, everybody, we need to make a decision on something. But I don't think, in my opinion, council has a right to do that today. That's just my opinion. That's not something legal that I got an answer for yet.
So what we could do as far as council, we could change the verbiage so this doesn't come back to the situation again, correct?
That is correct, but you can't do that based on the way the,
No, I mean, not now, but I'm just saying,
that's
I'm
where
just
I'm
saying
going with
to
it.
move forward with it,
That is
but we
correct.
still have,
You have every right to change the policy manual, amend it, just like you're going to amend the budget next month. But you cannot change policy manual today.
gotcha, no, I'm aware of that.
So if we can't change the policy manual today,
Because it's not
we're
an
not
agenda.
able to vote to give someone longevity pay.
That's my question.
Today is what you.
That's my question. But there's interpretation of how this is, it's black and white, and there's a gray area. That's what you guys are facing right now,
So,
is it?
so if we reword it next month, would Stephen still be qualified then?
Depending on how you word it. That's council's decision.
Then we have to go back and give all those others that have resigned their longevity.
Well, you either vote on the language that you're changing,
Okay.
or you leave it as is. That would be a council decision, not one person or two. You have every right to bring this up in the next meeting if you want to change the policy manual. But a policy manual requires a majority vote. So whatever you're going to bring up to change the language,
So you could basically make it effective beginning certain date, because he's the one that brought it forward, and then we wouldn't be in a problem with that?
I'm not sure
Well, I mean,
what you're asking.
if you're gonna be that student, you could run into a waiver issue where, then someone comes to the meeting after that and says, well, you amended it to say all people that resigned on or before October 14th, 2023.
No, I got you.
And I don't think that's fair. And I want you to amend it to be all people that resigned before January 22nd, 2020, because that's when I resigned.
No, that's what I'm just asking.
It's a Pandora's box.
Yeah.
In essence,
I know you've put work into this, and I respect that, but I'm not sure where we move forward on this because of what I'm hearing council ask and what I'm hearing you ask. I'm still, me personally, are questioning if council has the right to change, to make a vote on whether somebody gets longevity pay or not. That's what I'm asking. That may have to come from you.
Well, I
And
think
I'm sorry I'm surprising you with this.
no,
but,
it's all right.
yeah.
I can tell you because we.
Dolores may have some input in this because she's HR as well.
the only thing that I would have say on it is Stephen is not accepting my decision according to the personnel manual. So he's appealing to city council to make a decision whether, what they believe our policy says. And it seemed like, you could make a decision on that. But you can't, bring in another policy in next month is not what we need to do.
I mean, I think ultimately that's a huge Pandora's box because you see what you're saying now, anytime an employee doesn't like Dolores's decision on policy,
Right.
they're going to come in here and say, I'm a really good worker and I don't like what Dolores did and I want you guys to vote to countermand it. If he wants to go to court, there's a court system and that's fine. And we'll respect whatever, if the judge says, yep, he's entitled to it, then he can get it.
just remember, you guys voted on the policy manual already.
And you can change the policy. manual.
Absolutely,
I mean,
yes.
but certainly allowing employees and ex-employees,
Well, the personal manual looks like it was, what, 2016?
But we vote on it
But you
every year.
voted.
We vote on it in the budget, right?
Yeah,
Every
that's
year.
right.
And I'm being fair to council, I'm being fair to Mr. Kroviak. That's the way I'm gonna run the meetings, and I wanna be fair to everybody, the citizens, period. But I don't have an end path for you, sir, other than a suggestion maybe by our attorney that you actually take it to court. But that's not my decision. I'm putting everything out there so council can make a decision.
So I clarify, y'all aren't gonna vote on it?
I'm not saying that, I'm getting advice from our attorney. In all the years that I've sat behind this desk, whether it was there or here, that's never been an issue. So if I need to say in public, I'm just not certain of what that answer is, but I want to be fair with everyone. I don't have that as an answer. But in my interpretation of ordinances, council is not advised to change the longevity pay of somebody on a motion today, because the ordinance is stating that. And they vote on the ordinance, so they don't vote on who gets paid what. If they want to change the ordinance, that would be at another date. The language that they want to put in that ordinance is up to them, but that requires a 2/3 vote. That is my Robert's Rule of Orders that I do have education on. So my question now to council, where do we go? Because it's an item that I need a response from.
I don't know, it sounds like we can't do anything, right? I mean, me personally, if someone quits the city, do I think they need their longevity pay? No. If someone retires from the city, I'm okay with it, but how do we, the bigger issue is the policy manual. Would you do it for Mr. Kroviak? Will we have 10 other lawsuits next meeting that says you need to give me, why'd you just go back to September? Not go back 15 years.
I don't know if we had that many people
And
that
I
retired
know-
out.
I don't think we have that many people that
You know what I
retire
mean?
out, yes.
You know,
but- So the bigger issue is what date do we put on it? If we were to even to do something like that in the future. But today, on the advice of the attorney, I don't know that we can even do anything today because we don't have the authority to do that.
So how does it need to be addressed on the next council meeting then?
It would be brought up as an item that you want to change the policy, and then an agenda item that you would vote on something that Mr. Kroviak would present. Because you would have you don't necessarily have to have the authority. Well, there's a good question. You still don't have the authority to vote because
Dolores
the
has it.
ordinance would have already been passed that states he would be in reception of what the policy says. The vote that you have in my interpretation is the policy manual. That's your word. Does that sound correct? You made eyebrows to me.
yeah, I'm confused now.
So their authority is the policy manual, whatever it says in the policy manual. That's what they get to vote on.
Correct,
Yes.
yeah.
Now, they can change the policy manual to state anything. That from here on out, council has the approval of who gets longevity pay, not city manager.
I think we still need to change it so we don't run into this again. You know, wouldn't you agree?
Anything that we can clarify to
Yeah, I
help
mean,
people down the road.
Absolutely.
But we're still here today with this, so.
And I will tell you that when we get our next city manager, it's already on my list to review policy manual, period. Whoever's the next city manager. We will sit down and we are going to go over the policy manual because there's a lot of updating that needs to be done. And then it will be voted on by council. And whatever council puts in there as language, that's the law, so to speak. Not that you get to vote on everybody who has longevity pay issues every council meeting or whenever it comes up.
Let me just clarify, that's
You're okay, you're okay.
That's a personnel manual. 'Cause
I'm
there's
sorry,
the policy manual as well, you know, there's a,
I may be using the wrong language, my apologies, thank you.
no, I probably said that.
We're all good. The intent of here is for you to try to receive. I'm not sure if that's going to be able to be handled today. I'm sorry for all the work that you've done in your endeavors to be here, but I don't know if that can happen with council not having the ability to do that.
So, Mr. Kroviak, what is the amount that y'all have came upon that you've calculated? I've got it in front of me, I'm just asking you.
It's the, 1,078 prorated. When I retired, yes.
And you can advise me, just so it's open and public, is council able to vote on that as an action item today?
No, but it's not, the
Okay.
council doesn't have the authority to act on personnel issues like that, that's the city manager's job. They can change the personnel manual, and then, you know, if they change it and they say, they can change it to personnel manual, say, we love Officer Kroviak, he was great, he gets $10,000, whatever he wants, and, you know, and a new puppy. And then Dolores would get that and say, well, that's the personnel manual, it says give them a puppy and $10,000, and get one.
That's because that's council's decision.
They can change the manual.
Yeah, I kind of looking the difference between ones that quit and ones that retired,
Yes, sir.
because the ones that retired evidently put quite a few years in for you. And, you know, ones that got mad and quit, whatever, I can understand, maybe no.
I think that's a great incentive to keep good employees, is to have them retire out and reimburse them longevity pay as far as a proration. To me, we're having a hard time finding employees that want to stay with us. Let's be blunt. We've all discussed it, we've all said it, and we've all agreed upon it. We've been battling that since I've been on council. I think this would be a good way to fix it and pay forward and
Dolores, did you say his letter said he resigned or he
He
retired?
resigned, and then he submitted in his retirement.
So there is something
there
on
goes your
file that
language
says
that
he
you're
he resigned.
So that's part of the language that you just brought up, somebody that quit.
But he drew his
Yeah, somebody
Right.
quits, well, evidently they probably didn't have it 3 or 4 or 5 years in it anyway. Somebody that retires dedicated to the city, I mean, they actually put the years in.
I want to see people stay here in Weimar and retire.
Absolutely we do.
That's a
You know,
key
and I just
thing.
feel like you owe them something. 22 and a half years is a lot of years in the police department.
So in order for us not to invoke on law, there would be no action taken.
Can I add something?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
I'm no longer an employee with the city.
Yes, sir.
So, is it a personnel matter?
It's a great question.
It is, because that's the relief he's asking, and that there, he's exemplified the problem. He's right, he is no longer an employee of the city, the longevity pay is paid to employees. And therein, we come full circle on this.
Oops.
But it is the city manager's job, per the ordinances, to enforce the personnel manual as to all personnel other than the city manager. You know, we've been through this, city council they don't get to give individual raises, they don't vote on that. This is the equivalent of that, of, someone coming in, asking city council to approve a raise.
I got you.
Essentially, it's kind of, it's the same thing.
Right, I respect that, yes. We would be having council meeting, different things, agenda items on everybody's raises, and that's what unfortunately, our city manager's jobs are,
Can
which is
I
what you
ask
get.
them why you would put this on the agenda for discussion and action, for action as well, if it can't be voted on?
I'm not sure why the action piece is there, I will respond to that, or Dolores may be able to respond to that, I don't know.
Well, Bo asked me to put it on there because he got the letter from your attorney
Right.
requesting it to be put on the agenda.
So action can't be taken.
Can
Why?
be taken. It was my mistake to put action. I wanted you to come in here and tell your story to council. I should have just said discussion, Stephen, you're right.
So the action could be that we change the policy manual next month. That could be an action, right?
If I knew it wasn't any action, I would have moved
I-
forward and not even.
I understand.
Spend my time.
Yeah, I understand. And
It's sad that after all these years, that this is the way I'm being treated.
I'm hearing you. Council's hearing you, the public
Thank
is
y'all.
hearing you.
That's it.
Yeah, okay.
I'll see you in court.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay. Council, take a breath and move forward. We move to agenda item number 15, discussion on status of water plant number 1.
Jason, you're, you're full.
Well, you know, we've had the issues with,
It came on, great, keep holding it.
Hold it.
water.
When you hold it,
Maybe
it
it's a
will.
point of contact, yeah.
First I was told this was gonna be on the agenda, and wasn't gonna be on the agenda, then I saw it on the agenda, so. Water plant 1, as you know, we had a lot of issues. Plant was built in 1952. We reached out to Mercer Controls to do a lot of upgrades to the plant, but I'm not sure that's the right decision. I haven't had a dirty water call in about a month and a half. I know what the dirty water issue, I know what the dirty water issue was for all the years that Congress had it. Looks like it's pretty much cleared up. I believe when we get to the point of turning, if we do any repairs to the actual plant itself, the aerator, sand filter, just getting that wire up from, so when well 6 comes on, both wells speak fully, and trying to figure out why well 9 doesn't.
Jason, can you speak louder, just because I think people can hear? Yeah, you're gonna have to speak louder, sorry. It's
I'm
just-
aware of that. Okay.
Well, I asked you to speak louder, okay?
With water plant 1, when you spend all these thousands of dollars to rehab it, fix it up, and I'm afraid after all this money is spent on it, when you go to turn them 2 wells back on, you're gonna go back to the water you had before I came here. Where everybody's calling about brown water, we could possibly go back to black water. So, when me and Dolores started talking about that before, she decided to put it on the agenda, that was the discussion on what was the best decision to make about water plant. I feel like it would be in the city's best interest to go forward with the drilling of the well somewhere else, finding the best place in town for another well to be. The clear well down there at water plant 1, it's an underground storage tank. I had GST inspections done in September where they went around and tested the GST. They tested and looked at the GST, the 6 and well 9, from that report that was done from a study from the engineer in 2019, the manganese levels that come out of well 6 are above what TCEQ allows, and well 9 had a high iron content when they were in use.
So, you said you knew what the water issue was? What was causing that?
It had to have been the water coming out of 69, because when I turned that plant off, that water had been blended for so long, it seems like once all that water got evacuated and flushed out of the system, and we've been, you know, just using water plant 3 with well 4 and 8. I haven't got any dirty water calls in about a month and a half.
So,
Now, we still have issues with galvanized 1-inch lines out there and everything. And we're hoping that the, you know, polyphosphate will help with that.
do we have any kind of map that shows how many water wells we have, and where the water plants are? Because, I mean, I've only been on council less than a year.
Well, we,
I mean, it'd be good for us to have that, if you could bring that, get that together for next meeting, that would.
yeah, we have maps and everything, and I also showed on SCADA also. We have 5 wells in the city, and 3 of them are running right now. Well 10, it hasn't ran since I've been here, but it needs a, you know, $8,000 to $10,000 flow meter put on.
What else would it need besides that flow meter?
I don't know, I've never seen it run.
Where is well 10? Where, can you point to it?
Behind our warehouse.
Okay,
We're like, well, yeah, behind our warehouse.
okay.
Yeah, I've never seen that one run. Right now, if you go open up the clear well over behind the warehouse, that's the underground storage tank, it's full of black water. That I have to eventually get out of it.
So I'm no water expert by any means, but you're certified in this, right, correct?
I'm licensed.
License, that's what I mean. Sorry, I apologize. So we're kind of at your mercy on this as far as your recommendations.
Well, I also have Mark with me. He's licensed by the state also. He sees what I see every day. You know, he's experienced in this also. He'll tell you the same thing.
I would like to see a proposal of what y'all would get together for us to do.
Well, in last year, y'all put in the budget for $1 million for a new water well. Now, it's anywhere from 1.2 to 1.5 million dollars to do a new well. So it was a little short, but it's a good start, you know. I mean, a plant, I haven't seen a plant that old.
Well, you're not that old. So.
Yeah, so, I mean, normally, when you hear of a plant, you know, you go to other cities and, oh, when was the plant built? Oh, it was built in 95. It was built in 2001.
Might get a historical marker for it.
Yeah, so.
I'm just joking.
But then you go over and look at the placard, you know, outside of the booster pump room, it says 1952. And, you know, so, and I mean,
We can't be the only city that has, you know, that, with that problem with the water. I mean,
no,
we gotta come up with some kind of way to treat it to,
right, well, no, our water is excellent right now. I mean, I get people telling me all the time that, you know, I don't have brown water anymore. We're still using it at the plant, we utilize it at the plant, but that plant, well 4 and 8 will run this city easily. Actually, one well has run this city, because we actually had a well and a booster pump trip on us on a Saturday night, and we didn't know about it till Monday, because SCADA didn't send that alarm out. And we don't, we had no way of knowing. We had no auto dialer or SCADA didn't let us know that well and that bush was on the trip.
But if we had a hot summer, would 4 and 8 be able to hold us through 5 months of,
$800,000, 800,000 gallons a day.
Well, we had, and so I believe it was at the end of September, no, it was in October. I haven't seen, well, other than what James had logged in when, I have not seen a complete summer out there in Wyman to, be able to tell you that. But, and right now, it's kind of, we're in the middle of winter.
right?
I would be a little nervous about one well being down. Say well 8 was down, we were running 4, and it was July, I'd get a little nervous. But for a town of a little over 1,200 connections, with 2 active wells, that's pretty normal in most other small cities. I never really understood why y'all had 5 wells here. Seems like a little overboard. But, yeah, but your water plant 3, well 4 and 8, they're excellent.
Is that the only wells that feed into 3?
Right,
So
4
if
and 8.
4 and 8?
If 4 and 8 go down, we don't have any water to the city?
No, you made some kind of purchase agreement with another city to purchase surface water, and they would run the interconnect into the city and feed into either our elevated tower or GST, which that could be done. That's the kind of systems I'm used to doing.
So what active wells do we have? 4 and 8 are out by the interstate, maybe?
Other by 10 out of college.
Yes, okay, so that's 4 and 8.
9 is over here, we dug through that pyrite.
And what's over there on Jackson up there? Is that 6, or what's on the corner of College, isn't
That's
it?
college, that's 6.
Okay.
Well, 9's over here, well, 10 is behind our warehouse. 4 and 8 are out.
Okay.
Going towards interstate.
Okay.
Is there something we can do to 9 and 6 or 6 not in service anymore?
Well, 6 is the reason why, the main reason why I took that plan offline, because that well is putting out a high manganese level.
Oh, okay.
And for some reason, when well 6 has to come on for the chlorine room to get on to feed chlorine, when it calls for both wells, or if well 9 runs, it won't feed chlorine on its own. Well 6 for some reason has to come on for the chlorine room will activate.
It sounds like we need bids to fix what we have, but then we also need.
I thought that's why we got that report, for the recommendations on getting all that.
Yeah, but do we also need bids for what it costs to build or drill a new well with the water plant so that we have a backup in case 4 and 8 go down, or?
Well, what I was thinking is, the reason, this is just me thinking of what y'all were thinking, is when y'all put in the budget to, have $1 million for the new well, I thought y'all were aware, or the previous administration, city manager, public works superintendent, was aware there was a lot of issues over there, so they were gonna drill a new well somewhere else and, start going forward from there, putting the GST on.
Well,
We didn't get the information you
That
gave
might have been a
us.
capital project, but,
We didn't
it's not a budget item.
We didn't get it explained to us like you're explaining it to
Like
us.
1.5,
That's the thing.
Well, when I
that's what Mike had.
when I first brought all this up, I was new, I was identifying a problem. When you identify a problem, you create a project. So, the city, look for the best way to utilize what you have. But there has to be an end of service life for some items, you know, like the water plant. I mean, 1952 is a long time. I mean, I'm trying to stress that 1952 because, you know, maybe it's time to start thinking about a new well site. You know, it doesn't have to happen right now, but we're doing good with Water Plant 3. It's something we need to start thinking about, especially with new developments coming in town. We're gonna be putting, if we do bring, I just don't want nobody to have the water y'all had when I got here. It was a pain in the butt to figure it out, and it seems like it's clearing up, and y'all don't have that water. Some of the people that called every week aren't calling anymore.
Thank God. And plus, it's unhealthy, you know, that's the deal.
I mean, Dolores, when was the last time we had a dirty water call?
It's been a while now, though I've heard some from Cypher Loop. Have you had anything from Cypher
I
Loop?
haven't heard anything from Cypress.
So they need to call in and report it.
And they, well, like I said,
Don't be,
the public needs to know that
That's what this
Oh,
is
yeah.
about.
The
what you're-
water-
Exactly what you're saying.
the water quality issues were a big deal to me, because that's primarily what I am, is I'm an operator. I'm a water and wastewater operator. You know, if you don't call in, then I don't know.
I'm just appreciative that you're here, that you can explain these things and you understand it and relay it so well. That's what I like.
Well, maybe we were looking for, were we gonna look for some grants maybe to kind of help this water work? I remember us talking about it, and then we didn't know where we were gonna put it. I mean, you know, you can't.
Bradley is looking into it with BEFCO. He contacted me about it again, but we had before applied and we didn't get any, you know, anything.
I thought that was where we.
So, but I guess what we need, what we're today here really for is to decide whether to go back to work on plant number 1, because there will be probably complaints. If Jason thinks the plant is bad, then we're gonna have a lot of complaints, and then the lines are gonna be dirty.
Yes.
And that's what he's concerned about. Because y'all are gonna get the complaints,
Yeah.
you know, if it's a,
So you put-
like at
you
the
put
beginning.
You put the new wire going from well six down to the warehouse. You get both wells where, you know, when they come on, or just well 9 comes on by itself, it'll chlorinate itself, well, so, you know, get all that stuff out working. You're not changing the water that comes out of the ground from those well sites. That water is still there, ready to be pumped up through that well and go to the plant. The only thing a water plant does, really, is hold the water that you pump out of the ground and you shoot chlorine into it to disinfect it. That's all the water plant's for. Your
But you're
well-
saying it's black. I mean, you have to drain it or
We have
get
to
rid of
treat
that?
So in the clear well,
Yeah,
it's down there right now.
okay.
And I encourage anybody that to come down there and I will show you what I'm talking about. I'll explain it to you in more detail. I'll explain to you, I mean, you know, I've been doing this a while. So inside the clear well, when you open the hatch up, you will smell the rotten egg smell. You'll smell the hydrogen sulfide. All right? You open up that drain and that, you know, there's a little canal that runs through. Because we cracked it, and it's just rotten, hydrogen sulfide smelling black water coming out. That needs to be drained. It will have to be, the clear well will have to be filled back up. We call it cooking the water. You give it a high dose of chlorine. You cook it. Let it sit, drain it again, do that 3 or 4 times, and you start to clean out the inside of that clear well. Because the inside of your clear well is not stained, and you got that smell in there. It'll come out smelling like rotten eggs for quite some time. And so, you know, it's cleaned out.
Is that something you're recommending and suggesting for us to do?
Well, it's gonna have to be done eventually, whether you keep the plan online or not, because you know, it's not gonna, you need to get that water out of there, you know. And especially if one day you abandon the plant. I've never abandoned an underground storage tank before. I imagine that, I don't know how cheap, I don't know if it'd be cheap, but it normally consists of filling it in with some type of, you know, material, maybe some type of concrete or I don't know, I've never been able to do it. I have abandoned a lift station before and all they did was concrete, they fill it with concrete.
How soon do you think you could cook that station to get us ready and prepared for summer in our dry months?
So you want to use the plant,
I'm just curious, if you're thinking we could or should, I'm all for it, but I'm just curious.
well, pretty much what I was talking about is not even turning well 69 back on, just leaving them off. But you will eventually have to get that black water out of there.
Gotcha.
And, you know, for the abandonment process.
I mean, I'm concerned what we do with 4 and if 8 go down, what's our backup? You said 9 needs about $10,000, but that's the brown water, right?
Well, not what, I don't think I get the price. But well,
One of those, you said 8 to 10,000.
Well, 10 has a
no, that's for a flow meter at well 10.
Well,
Well,
10.
well, 9, I didn't give a reason.
Okay. So we have, for $10,000, we can bring a third well online if we had to.
But, see, so that well is gonna feed into that clear well at water plant 1. It's not gonna feed into our GST at water plant 3.
And that's the well that you said you've never turned on before, correct?
I've never seen it run. I do have some information on it that James had, but from the stuff I've read and, you know, when I took over from James, you know, back in the end of August, he said that, actually, I was getting the information that well was the worst one in the city. That's the water quality coming from that. But like I said, I've never seen it run, I've never seen it operate.
So it'd be like just doing a gamble on that one then.
Well, we've got to have some kind of logs about, it has to pass TCEQ standards. It should be some.
Well, it was, I cleared up some violations from the state.
From 10 I'm talking about.
We had a violation from well 10.
Jason found some violations that we weren't aware of.
Well, we just need to figure out how we can, you know, if 10 is good, how we can get it into the water system.
That's what I was just about to say. Is there a way to redirect it?
I would have to look into it.
Because
I'm just curious. I don't know anything about it.
No, I like the question. I mean, you definitely look into it. I've cleared up a total of about 10 violations.
Thank you.
Outstanding violations.
Well, maybe we need to see how, you know, how come up with a plan on, you know,
Rerouting 10.
rerouting 10, because 10 is
But we need to find out the quality of water that comes out of that.
So why don't we figure out how to test the water on 10 first, then we bring it to council, and then we look at what this is gonna cost to reroute, or if that's even an option.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
I've never seen anybody do that before, or heard of anybody doing that. But, I mean, for, I guess, purpose of knowing options and the best way to go about,
Yeah.
you know, utilizing what we have.
right.
It definitely wouldn't hurt to ask and say, hey, how much is this gonna cost?
Right.
Kind of what I think they're asking is, can we be prepared to be proactive instead of reactive?
Yeah, if we find out that a new well costs 1.2 million and to reroute that one's gonna
It's a
Well-
no-brainer.
You know, then we'll know that, hey, we don't need to do it.
More
Right.
proactive of if 2 wells go down, we have nothing. So if you can come up with options.
If one well, like Kurt said, we have both, I doubt both wells go down at the same time.
Well, we got 3 down
It'll
now.
probably, well, we had 2 down on purpose because I did that, and the other one's been down because of the flow meter. And that was actually one of the violations we had with TCEQ. You cannot have a well active in a water system without a working flow meter.
And those are all things we have no knowledge
Yeah.
of. And that's why you're here today to help. We needed some education on the water because the citizens are asking questions to council people about it. And, you know, that's just, I want something positive out in the world so we know how to move forward. And if it's the gray water, the brown water, the black water, if that's going away, we're doing the right things. It's gonna cause more problems, then council, then you will be telling the citizens, be ready for this once I turn something on. So it's just an education piece is what we needed help from.
So is there some kind of tech stuff that you could utilize to make your job easier with the water wells?
Well, as far as sampling well 10, that, no, that's not a whole lot. I mean, I can turn the well on,
Okay.
and I can
Full sample?
I can pull some. You know, that ain't nothing, taking it to a lab and say, hey, I want to pull it out, so it's done, this sample. I just want to see what I got.
Sure.
Need to nip it in the bud.
We have a lot of issues with SCADA, we don't know when stuff trips, booster pumps, wells. Right now, you turn booster pump number 1 on at water plant 3. It shows on the SCADA that 2 is running. It's not logging hours. It is logging alarm history, but the only alarm history we have is GST level load, EST level load. And so GST is the ground storage tank. EST is the elevated storage tank. That's your towers out here, your ground storage tank is at the actual water plant. And at water plant 1, that's the actual
Do you
underground.
know what
Water.
we're all asking them to do? Okay.
We'll just
So,
bring back.
I don't want to cut you off, but I think they kind of, like in all this discussion, Dolores probably has an idea of what council wants to do, that you and her could get together and, I just don't want to put lack of time on
We
it.
just wanted to bring this to council's attention so that we know where we're gonna go with this. We don't,
You guys, okay, I don't want to cut you off,
No,
but
no, that's, I mean,
there's probably stuff he's saying that doesn't understand, but you've got a little bit more education on what was taking place.
yeah.
And hopefully, they can put something together to bring back to you guys as a plan, the proactive piece to it. Is it okay? Okay? Okay, cool.
Thank you, Jason. I
Jason,
appreciate you.
thank you for all the information. We gotta,
There's other options to water. A lot of cities purchase water, they purchase surface water. They have an interconnect coming from another, I know we're far away from.
That's correct, yeah.
of any of the town, I think Katy had purchased surface water from the city of Houston. There is other ways to purchase water.
that sounds expensive.
All the way out here.
Yep.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to go into agenda item number 16, executive session under section 551.074, personnel, and this has to do with the city manager selection process. So we're going to go into the room next door and have no clue how long it'll take, folks, so if anybody wants to hang around, you're welcome to. If not, we will see you at the next council meeting.